Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your weekly update video, but before I get into the update, I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who watched the last video, who subscribed to the channel, and who left a comment. Thank you very much. Keep that up. And if you want to share my stuff and my journey, I would greatly appreciate it. But now let's get into the update. I am 30% done. This last week wrote another 7,000-ish words, and we are right on track to be getting done with the first act here. Hopefully I'll be done with Act 1 tomorrow.
And there was much rejoicing.
Which that means a couple things. One is that next week's word count or percentage bump might not be very much, because after, I think I want to do this every 50,000 words or so, when I'm getting to a good kind of break point, is to kind of go back and do some revision. That's what I'm going to be doing as soon as I get this next chapter done, is I'm going to go back and look at the prologue all the way through 19 chapters, and see what needs to be fixed, what needs to be changed, and I need to add some more color to some of these story beats, because the way, at least that I explained it to Alicia, is that, imagine if you have a coloring book, right, that doesn't have any color in it, whereas like you can see what the picture is and what the story it's trying to convey is, but when you add in all of that color and all of that detail, that's when a picture comes to life.
The colors, Duke! The colors!
I'm colorblind, kid.
And so I'm going to be going back and kind of adding in some more color to make it feel like you're in this fantasy world with me. So that's how far I'm at right now, and I'm really excited to go back and do this revision, and then get on with really diving into what is going to be Act 2. But like I said in my introduction video, one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys as well is some of the problems that I'm running into. And so the problem that I want to talk about this week is Imposter Syndrome. Now, I don't know if you've ever dealt with Imposter Syndrome, but I have dealt with it most of my life. And Imposter Syndrome is basically feeling like you don't belong.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Or that you're not supposed to be the one doing the thing that you're trying to do. I remember feeling imposter syndrome when I first got up to preach my first sermon at a preaching school that was, I was preaching in front of people that knew far more about the Bible than I probably ever will, and trying to, encourage them and preach something to them. I felt like I was completely, I felt like a fish out of water. I felt the same way the first time as a counselor that I sat down with a client in a room by myself, of they're gonna know that I don't know what I'm doing, and in my head I was thinking, they're gonna call me out on some of this, and they're gonna be like, well, how do you know that? And of course none of that happened, but I still felt really awkward for that first time. And now as a writer, some days when I'm, at my keyboard and I'm trying to fashion these scenes and bring these characters to life, I have all of this internal messaging that is whispering in my ear. Your writing is garbage. This is nothing like Brandon Sanderson, so it's bad. or the big one is all of this time you're spending is going to be wasted. Basically, it's just messages that we can believe telling you that you can't do something. And over the last 2 weeks, these voices have been very loud in my head. And sometimes during the writing process, I get discouraged. Sometimes it slows me down a lot. Watching other YouTubers and watching their success stories, the message in my head is always, well, you're not going to be able to do that. And so those messages make me feel really bad. But then I thought, wait a second, Chris, you're a counselor. So what would you tell yourself if you were the client about imposter syndrome? And so I thought of 5 things that I would tell any client that is struggling with imposter syndrome. And so whether you're writing a book, or whether you're starting a new job or a new class, or you're going to a new school, whenever you're feeling imposter syndrome, hopefully these can help you out. Number 1, speak up, because, well, you're not alone. You're not alone in this. This is one of the reasons why I thought this would be a good thing to talk about. It's because I know that I'm not alone in this case. Every successful author that I've ever heard about or read about or watched an interview of, they all talk about this same thing, and that they felt like they weren't the ones to be able to do the thing that they wanted to do. There's these words that I remember hearing in one YouTube video about people giving advice for aspiring authors, and that is that you are the only one that can write your story. And I've been saying those words over and over and over again in my head, and you just have to believe that you're not alone in this struggle. Number 2 is that there are times where you should feel fraudulent. You know, everyone was new at some point. Even these authors that I look up to tremendously, like Brandon Sanderson or Patrick Rothfuss or even Stephen King and even Tolkien, at one point they were new. And so if you feel like a fish out of water, if you feel like you're not right, know that you're in good company. Because these people felt the exact same way. And there are times where we should feel new at something when we're doing something new. Number 3 is that we need to have a healthy response to failure. Many times as we go through life and we fail at something, it feels like it's the end of the world. But that's not reality, at least most of the time, right? Like when you fail at something, it's not just over at that point. And if we can change our mindset to view failure as an opportunity to learn, and you're new at something, you're going to fail at some things, you're not going to have all of the skill set. And so view those times as an opportunity to learn. Number 4 is that we need to develop a new message to tell ourselves. All of those things that were whispers in my head before, that's called self-talk, right? And there's a lot out there about self-talk, but basically it is true. If we talk to ourselves and view ourselves in a negative light, most likely we're going to have a negative outlook on anything that we do. And so instead of thinking of the message of, you know, once they figure out that you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be labeled a fraud, instead change that message to, you know what, if I mess up, that's fine. And along the way, I know that I'm smart enough to figure out anything that comes in my way. And then number 5 is visualize success. Actually try to project in your mind of what it will look like when you have attained the thing that you're working for. All sorts of people do this. All sorts of professions, professional athletes do this, of trying to think in their minds and visualize what winning will look like. For myself, what I do is I go to our Barnes & Noble and I find the spot in the sci-fi fantasy section of the bookstore of where my book will be at. when it's in print. And I go there, and it's like I'm trying to visualize what my book with my title on there and my name on the book, what it's going to look like when it's on the shelf, and that feeling of accomplishment when I finally am able to see that, to experience that, and I can't wait until that happens. So there you have it. Those are my 5 things that you can do if you're struggling with imposter syndrome like me. And just know this is not professional counseling. If you need professional counseling, go see a professional counselor. This is just my ramblings. I'm not a professional counselor in this video. Okay, now that that's taken care of, there was a comment that was asked on the last video that I want to get to, and it was actually one that I was going to talk about anyways, but answering a comment is always a good thing. And the question was, so what is your book going to be about? And I mean, that is the question, right? That's the question that I love to answer. And most of the time when I talk about my book, people's eyes start to glaze over, and it's just like, whoa, that was a lot. And that's typically, at least I think it's because I'm excited about what I'm writing. But if I can, I'm going to try to condense all of this down into a short little it's time for me to go check on the salmon. Let's go check on the salmon. Oh yeah. All right, now, where was I? Oh yeah, the book. So imagine a world where there are these ancient artifacts that you can call demons, actual demons, to come fight for you. And we're talking full stop, gateway opens, portal to hell, demons step through the gate, and now you get to control them and fight for you and have them do your bidding. Kind of dark, right? Imagine a world where there are these shards, like dagger size pieces. They look like glass, but they're blackened, and they have like fire swirling within them. Imagine these shards, people jab into their chest, into their hearts, and then it turns them into near immortal, impossible to kill beasts. Imagine that world. And then of course there are politics and kingdoms and governments that have been established around this kind of power. And if we're calling demons to fight for us, right, we're probably talking about not so good people. Almost everyone is evil, everyone is power hungry. For the most part, and so then the weak are kind of forgotten and discarded in this world. And if you can imagine that kind of world, then you would also think that if there were any other types of power that were to come along in that world, those who have these artifacts and who have those shards, they are not going to be okay with any other type of power. And so what has happened in this world is, even if there was another source of magic in this world, they've pretty much rounded all of them up and sequestered them away so that they can maintain their grip on the world. It's gotten so bad that even if you're found to be possessing, even by accident, one of these other sources of power, they're going to just kill you.
Kill it!
You take that whole world and then plop a family down inside of it, and this family is trying to do good, but of course they have their own family drama. They have teenagers and all of the stuff that they're going to get into, and let's just see how this family survives. But more than that, what if one of these family members finds another source of power that is unlike these dark sources of power. And we know that, well, that person might, the church, the religions, the governments, they might just kill this person.
Kill him!
And if that family member is in your family, what are you going to do about it? That's the general premise of the story, but there's also a, one world religion that everyone thinks is good but is actually evil. There are, secret books and forbidden texts. And did I mention that there's monsters in here they're like made out of vines? It's somewhere a cross between, like Swamp Thing and those aliens from The Edge of Tomorrow. It's got all of the stuff. Okay, and I am so excited about this world. I'm so excited about this magic system. I'm so excited about these characters that I want to bring people into this world, and I hope to make that a reality. As we get further down the line, and as I get more written and more stuff that I know for sure is going to make it into the book, I'm going to do some kind of like character deep dives and talk about my influences for how I design these characters and what their backgrounds look like and all of that. I'm going to talk about how I developed my magic system, how I made my map. I have a map. Did I mention that? All of this stuff I want to get further, get into as I get further down the line. Okay. I've been talking for a long time, and I got a salmon smoking on the grill, and so we need to wrap this up. Thank you once again if you've made it this far through the video. Thanks for watching. If you have other questions, don't be shy. Leave it in the comment section down below. I want to answer your guys' questions, and like I said before, it gives me something to talk about. So I hope you guys are doing well, and for me and for you, get out there and write something. We'll see ya.